back, everyone, to Little Paul of Horrors. I am Little Paul, and this is my show, Little Paul of Horrors. So, welcome back if you've been here before, and welcome if this is your first time here. Thank you very much for visiting my channel. I do appreciate it. And today, I have a very special commentary and opinionated review to make. It's a review about a movie that I find unfortunately hasn't gotten as much recognition as it deserves. Now, if you look on my back on the green screen behind me, you will see the movie poster. But the name of the movie is not there. Is that done by coincidence? Can anything be done by coincidence, or is it just a coincidence? It's a coincidence. No, it's not. It's not on purpose. For people who know the name of this movie, I'm sure you'll know it because of your avid horror movie fans and you know your stuff. For people who don't know what this movie is, it's a movie that is about, werewolves. It's a movie about scary, big, furry, nasty, strong werewolves. And werewolves, or lycanthropy, are supernatural beings that come second to my first favorites, which are vampires. So this movie is called The Howling. I don't know where that came from. I'm really sorry, ladies and gentlemen. That's weird. It's called The Howling. I have to check that out. I don't know what that was. So, The Howling itself is a movie that came out on March 13th, 1981. Directed by Joe Dante. And it was a movie that was written beforehand in a book, 1977. So it was a book written in 1977 by an individual by the name of Gary Bradner. And then 4 years later, it was picked up by a independent movie company. Like back then, it wasn't that big. It started off in the 70s and it closed off in 1986, I believe, called Embassy Pictures. And they filmed this movie. Now, the stars of the movie are as follows. So the actors. Dee Wallace, people know her. She's very well known. She played in E.T. as the mother. She played in the Cujo, which is another great horror movie. If you can, go watch it. She also played in Gremlins, and she plays Karen White in this movie. And then we have Patrick Macnee, who plays George Wagner, or the Doc. And then we have Dennis Dugan, who plays Chris Halloran. From there, we have Christopher Stone as Bill Neal, who is the husband of Dee Wallace. Then we have Belinda Balaski, who plays her friend Terry Fisher, Kevin McCarthy as Fred Francis, John Carradine as Earl Kenton, and then we have Elizabeth Brooks as Marcia Quist, and then we do have Robert Picardo, who plays Eddie Quist, her brother, and he is well known for playing in the Star Trek circles and Star Trek shows, especially in Star Trek The Next Generation. And for all you Trekkies out there, if you want, go online and look up who he is, unless you already know who he is and you know who I'm talking about. The movie itself did well at the box office on a budget of 1.3 million. It grossed on a budget of 1.5 million. It grossed $17.9 million. And in today's standards, it would be a budget of 6 million, and then it would have grossed $62 million. So that's a lot of money. And I've always found that, low budget horror movies that really resonate with the audience make, attract a great audience, and they do well, especially for the amount of money that's put in to actually create them, to create the film. So that's a positive. That's positive about these great horror classics. I appreciate that. In the movie itself also won in 1980 the Saturn Award for Best Horror Film, and also it's a movie that has it's an actual franchise, and in the franchise it's actually spun off 7 other movies which were atrocious, but it still is a franchise. But The Howling is the best out of all of them. The first movie that was directed, and it can't be forgotten, and we shouldn't forget about it or think or put it on the side, because it's a movie that really stays true to the myth of werewolves. So the myth of werewolves, like certain myths say that werewolves can change only under a full moon. That's not true. If you look into lore of werewolves or lycanthropes, they can actually change at any time during the day. So that's just something that I wanted to add to that. So The Howling is a movie that is, again, focused and revolves around the main character, Karen White. She plays an investigative reporter, and at the beginning of the film, she's actually hooked up to monitoring equipment, as much as monitoring equipment was good back in the early 80s. And she's hooked up by the news company that she works for. So, because she's an anchor woman. So she's going to meet a person who is a suspected serial killer, and she's going to meet him at one of the oddest places, at a peep show, out of all places, inside a booth. So in the 80s, they were sleazy, and she walks inside the actual place that she's supposed to meet him, and the men that are there looking at the stuff that are available, they see her and they just put it down, they walk away. I found that kind of humorous and funny. So she walks into the photo booth. Into the booth itself. And she hears him. She doesn't see him. She hears him, and he tells her, "Don't look directly. Turn your back towards me. Sit down. Put a quarter into the machine for the movie to start. And when I'm ready to tell you to turn around, I want you to turn around." And when he's ready and he tells her to turn around, she starts to witness something that just makes her start screaming and yelling. The police run in. She bursts out of she's able to escape and get out of the booth. And then the police fire into the booth. And then you see all this blood that comes out. So after that scene occurs, she walks out. She's obviously shaken. They're taking the body out as well on the gurney. And, they're asking her if she's okay, if she's doing well. When after that has occurred, she decides to go and visit her psychologist or psychiatrist, Dr. Wagner, and he tells her, "Well, look, I have a good thing for your PTSD. I have a retreat that is up in the forest, away from the city, that a lot of people that I treat go there, and there's a community there, so you can go there, unwind, get away from it all, and we can continue our therapy sessions from there." She asks her husband Bill to visit her. To go with her to visit the compound. He decides to do so. And their 2 other friends, Terry and Chris, stay behind. They're investigative reporters too, and they stay in the city. So when she goes there, the cinematography in this movie is fantastic. It's great. It's really well done, along with a score from Pino Donaggio, who actually did also the musical score for Carrie. He captures the essence of the compound and the essence of the forest itself, meaning the lighting, the imagery as well. And when she goes to the compound, or she goes to the to the retreat. It takes place on a beach at night, and there are all these people that are there. There's food, there's music, and there's a huge bonfire as well. And they're all welcoming her, and she's still feeling uneasy. But her husband is much more, sociable, and obviously because he didn't go through this, traumatic experience, So he's socializing with people, and she still feels agitated and irritated. And he meets up with, Marsha Quist, who is, flirting with him, and the wife notices that, but she doesn't say anything, passive aggressive style of interaction. And from there, they decide to go back to their cabin, and, they're talking about the people that they've met. Now, throughout the course of the film, her friends from back home are still investigating the homicide with Eddie Quist, who was killed. And he's directly also, like, when they go and they visit, or they go into his house, he has pictures of the compound or of the retreat there. And Terry decides that she's going to go up there to investigate it. Unfortunately, during that time, Bill, who is Karen's husband, gets bitten by something. We obviously know what it is. It's a werewolf. And one time, as they are at home, as they're in their cabin, he starts hearing the calls from the forest, and he follows the calls, and it's Marsha Quist, and they engage in sexual activity. And then from there, he turns into a werewolf, and we know that he's been infected. And then from there, all of this other stuff happens. There's, the revelation, the reveal at the end, that everybody at the compound are all werewolves. How does she escape with the help of her friend? Her other friend, Terry, who went up there to investigate it, witnesses the first change, and witnesses also that Eddie Quist is not dead. He was never killed, because you need a silver bullet to kill a werewolf. And he appears in front of her, and he starts to change. Now, this scene, to this day, still terrifies me. This is over 40 years ago, and to this day it terrifies me because there's no CGI, and it's one of the best animatronic changing scenes I've ever seen in a horror movie in the 80s. Very well done, very scary. And with the musical score, it enhances the fear that you feel during his change and her reaction towards the change, and then the chase that occurs during the day, and as he's chasing after her. Unfortunately, he kills her, but that scene itself is still tattooed in my memory. So at the end, when the final reveal is done and she finds out that everybody's out there and they want to keep her, because the doctor's plan is that he wants to keep everybody there and try to integrate them into society, even though they're werewolves, but to integrate them as, well, we know we don't have to kill them. We don't have to kill human beings to feast on them. And then there are other people that are rebelling, and they're saying, no, we are still animals and they are our prey. We need to kill them. You're domesticating us. You're making us try and follow all these rules. And there's all these underlying messages within the, the interaction within the script, and the dialogue that's occurring between the actors. So, basically what they're saying is following the leader. So one reference is to Jonestown. If you're not sure what Jonestown is the cult leader who had created this compound called Jonestown, where there were a lot of people who were following him, and at the end a lot of them drank the Kool-Aid, killer Kool-Aid. They drank it, but some evidence now is showing that a lot of them were actually murdered. But when they went to the compound, they were all killed. So basically, it has references to that as well. And other references that are made is how sensationalism within graphic horror movies, and sensationalism within the reporting of murders that occur, can be intertwined and connected towards each other, towards each other, saying that one can feed off or influence the other. So basically, within this horror movie, what this horror movie is trying to say, and in one aspect, is that the news can sensationalize how graphic and over the top reports can be done with regards to focusing on the darker aspects of human nature. So you have these underlying themes that are, expressed within the film, but you don't need to, watch the film 75 times to understand what it's saying. That's a reference to something. So it's very straightforward. It uses the KISS method. Keep it simple and straightforward. You understand this. You get this. You understand what this means. Even if it's an hour after you've watched the film, it dawns on you, if you hopefully, that this is what it's expressing within the film too. It's not only that it's a scary movie with a great plot, with very good acting, with great scare scenes, the cinematography, the lighting, the production, the direction, all of it comes together to make a very good and satisfying, scary, bone-chilling, and even on the edge of your seat, nail-biting horror movie. But it does have, those references to social mores as well. It's important to realize that a movie can do that, a horror movie can do that, and you don't need to, write a thesis on it or examine it frame by frame by frame by frame. I can keep on going, but I think if you watch my other reviews, what I'm referring to. So from there, the ending is, and I'm not going to say what it is, but I'm not going to reveal what it is, but it is a famous ending to a movie. Very well done, extremely scary, and it shakes you and chills you to the bone. The Howling is a fantastic movie it's a fantastic horror movie that has all the necessary ingredients to increase the scares, to increase the anxiety, to increase the fear, and to increase the enjoyment of being scared while you're watching the movie, because that's the point of a horror movie, is to do that. And all the while making social references to within the movie, making social references and commentary on society and certain aspects of society, and how certain aspects of human nature interact with certain aspects of sensationalism within society. So that's something important too. See, horror movies can be simple and straightforward. So with that being said, please tell me, what did you think? What did you think of my commentary? Did you not like it? Leave a comment down below. Please leave a comment, share, like, subscribe. And I really hope you enjoy my videos, because I'm here to, inform you and also to entertain as well, which I hope you're enjoying. So again, thank you very much for visiting my channel. I hope you enjoyed what I had to say. Again, leave a thumbs up or a thumbs down and a comment, like, share, and subscribe. And until the next time we meet, enjoy the show. One moment. I have to check what I'm drinking. Until we meet again, enjoy the show.